So I'm going to walk you guys through step by step how to actually execute this. If you have a list of homeowners and you want to get a message to them and you'd like to email all of them with a relevant message, how do you do that where the email actually gets through? It's not some bulk spam email, and it's done effectively where it comes across as an actual personal message. Well, that's today's lesson. So let's get started. So the first step is you want to take your likely to sell list and make sure you actually have it. So remember this likely to sell list that you put together, whether it was a huge list of the entire county or it was a more niche list, but the same list that we talked about in the first module, we say, hey, build your likely to sell list. Now we have to append email addresses. So you can do this. These emails are for sale. There's lots of services out there. You can go to Google and type in email address append. You'll see a whole bunch of services that do it for you. Now, here's the deal. Even if you use a service like DataZap to append an email address, it'll say like, hey, do you want to buy all the emails or do you want to like buy the verified emails? Always buy the verified emails because you know that they actually work. Do that. So like they're legit emails that come back that maybe they've like silently pinged or something like that. So they know that the emails actually work. In addition to that, because I never want to risk sending out like bad emails that bounce or go to spam, once I've successfully appended verified emails through like a third-party service to my likely to sell property address list, is I'll still take that list and I'll upload it to a service like Never Bounce. So that's a service we use here at Viral Marketing. It's what we use to kind of scrub the emails to see if there's any bad ones you can remove. So you go check it out. It's neverbounce.com. And any emails that come back from the email service provider or the email append service, upload that final document to Never Bounce and see if there's any more bad emails. And if there are a significant amount, go back to the person that sold you the emails like, hey man, I did a third-party verification review. All these emails you sold me aren't good. And yell at them, see if you get a refund. The next thing, and this is important, and we kind of talked about this in the direct mail module, but it's really powerful to use mail merges. So like if you can merge in the person's first name on the deed, or if you can merge in their city or merge in the property address to the email, it really makes it much more personalized. So I just want to bring up to you that it's a good idea to go back and format the mailing list so it actually looks well if you're going to do a mail merge. So now we need to basically set ourselves up to do cold email effectively. Now, cold email is not spam. I would consider cold email unsolicited email. But there's nothing wrong with just like sending a personal email to somebody. I wouldn't take all these emails and upload them to MailChimp. I wouldn't upload them all to Emma, which are the servers we use. These are all like non-permission based, purchased email lists. And those services hate it when you try to send like a bulk blast email to all of that. However, it's perfectly fine as long as you don't get too crazy with the number of volume of emails, just to send out personal one-to-one emails. Now, if you are going to launch a personal, like one-to-one, consistent, just constantly sending one-to-one emails out to people campaign, you never want to do that on your home domain. So let's say if I were to email you guys, your email address is bob@abcrealty.com. I would never do an outbound email campaign under abcrealty.com. Bad idea. And I would go buy a totally separate domain name. And I would go set up a totally different, account for sending those emails. And what I'd recommend is Google Workplace. So the next thing you have to do after you have your list is you need to go to like probably Google Workplace and go purchase a totally separate domain name from your current one that you're going to do your outbound cold email through. Now, once that's set up and you have, a totally separate domain, you need to authenticate it. If anyone ever emails you and you get like spam notifications or spoofing notifications on the top of an email, that's because the domain name wasn't authenticated. You need to set up on this second domain for Google Workplace, SPF and DKM authentication. Basically, whoever registers your domain name needs to link it to the mail servers to make sure that it's really like authentic. But if you want to make sure that if you're sending email and you want to make sure that the email actually ends up in the inbox and not in the promotions folder or the spam folder, the number one thing that you can do if you're emailing from an own custom domain is make sure that that domain has been authenticated with SPF and DKIM. Now, you probably have a user account. You set up, Bob at abcrealty.com. All right. Make sure you go into your profile, update your picture. So put your picture in there for your photo. So when you email somebody, your picture shows up, makes it a little more personal, right? And then when you go in there, make sure you put your full signature. Take your full signature and set it up so whenever an email is sent, whenever you compose a new email through Gmail on your second Google Workplace, it loads up the email signature. It's really important that when you send out a cold outbound email, okay, look, it's coming from authenticated domain. Your picture shows up, your full email signature there. It needs to look legit. follow me, like a real personal email. So these are all clues that when you're going through your email inbox, like, is this spam? Is this not spam? Is this legit? Is this not legit? These are just little things that you subconsciously look for to see, like, is this like an actual legitimate message coming towards me? And you want to make sure that you set those things up inside the user profile on a Google Workflows thing. What we're trying to do, use Gmail and send one-to-one emails in a way where Google does not flag your account for suspicious activity. And using a professional Google Workplace account as opposed to like a straight up Yahoo email or a Gmail address, free one, gives you a little more validity.